Captain?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you both. Now we're going to do some awards, recognize employees for their service to Lewisburg in a few minutes. I do want to make note that one of our citizens, the oldest in Lewisburg, his name's Ed Nokio, will be 106 on the 19th of this month. It's Martin Luther King Day, I believe. So that's notable, in my opinion. On a personal note, and I didn't put it in the prayer there, my son-in-law is in Bahrain, which is in a very dangerous place at the moment. So I want to remember him. Go ahead and read, if you would. Any other announcements? Go ahead and read.
Whereas the mayor and council wishes to allow the citizens of the city of Lewisburg to voice their opinions, concerns, and comments, and etc. And whereas the Lewisburg City Council holds a regular meeting the second Tuesday of each month. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Lewisburg that, number one, citizens will be allowed to address the council during citizens' input. Number two, citizens addressing the council must abide by the following guidelines. Name, address to be given for record, give subject matter description, understand there will be no voting, 3 minutes maximum time, address the council, not the audience, no personal attacks, no religious comments, no more than 3 times on the same subject. Thank you.
Okay, if anyone wishes to address the council, please come forward and give your name and address.
Hi, Mayor, council members. My name is Debbie Sinyard. I live at 204 Brindley Court. I'm speaking regarding the asphalt problems we have on that street. I've lived there since 2019. My house was one of the first 4 houses in that subdivision that was built and moved into. For about 2 or 3 years, I've lived on a dirt road until they got out the rest of the houses built. And that was finally paved, so I thought. I found out it was only the first coat that was put down. It wasn't long after that the garbage trucks came through and had destroyed the road some more, along with the weather and whatnot. Our mail lady has gotten so bad that our mail lady cannot deliver mail to the mailboxes on some of the mailboxes on that street because it's so bad she's got to get out of her car. Myself and other neighbors have complained about the road to the city, and all we were told is that the builders did not comply to the city code, and Brindley Court is considered a private road. I called the builder, and he told me that he complied with what was needed and that he wasn't going to do anything else because he's done all that he was supposed to have done. I know this is all about the he said, she said, but this road needs to be paved correctly. We have had one child on our road, I just found out last week, that wound up with a broken wrist and sprained the other one because of the concrete. He fell off his bicycle, hit one of the road. So we need to get it fixed before anyone else gets hurt and it gets any worse than what it already is. We're paying city taxes for road maintenance, and I know there's other things that are paid out of taxes, but it's not fair for us taxpayers and property owners to live on the worst road in the city of Lewisburg. It's a disgrace. I know there's been a turnover within the city over a number of years, and I know record keeping may not have been the way it's supposed to have been done, but it's not our fault. I just know that it's gonna cost a lot to get the road paved the way it should, and I'm hopeful that the city will vote to accept the road as it is so that we can get this paved and behind us and make the children safe and be able to ride their bikes and play out in the road. But, I mean, that's all that I have to say. It's just terrible every day that I walk out and see this roads the way it is. So that's all I have. I appreciate your time, and I thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Was that for the Brindley Court?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the worst road in Lewisburg.
State your name, please.
Adam Albrecht.
Okay.
You can't even drive down the side of the road. The garbage man is complaining about it. The postal people, they're talking about not even coming down there no more. It's so bad. It's horrible. It's a safety concern. You have to drive down the center of the road. There's a fence blocking the corner. So in traffic leaving the road and coming to the road all have to be in the center of the road. We've already had one kid that's broke his arm because the road's so horrible. And again, I promise you, it's the worst road in Lewisburg.
What's your address, please?
210 Brindley Court.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening. Compliments to the council. My name is David Perka, 732 Bark Street, Lewisburg, Tennessee, 37091. As a former city councilman, and I believe back in November of 2024, I brought up a topic at a work session about tort liability for unsafe and defective streets, and it was sort of a warning. It's available on the MTAS website, and it goes through lots of different cases, plaintiff and defendant, city being the defendant. So the city is not, the city can be sued. I guess that's basically it. They have liability for defective streets and personal injury. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Philip Baxter. I own property at 1301 Old Farmington Road here in Lewisburg. I also own property at 1381 Rock Crusher Road in Lewisburg. I can sympathize with these people here. I guess this is the night to complain about city streets. I don't know where their street is, but I know where Rock Crusher Road is. And there's about a 200-foot section of Rock Crusher Road that I venture to say is in worse shape than war-torn roads in Ukraine are today. I spoke to Councilman Robertson about this a few months ago. Whether he came out and looked at it or not, I do not know. This is a heavily traveled road every day. Every time you bring up the damage to Rock Crusher Road, everyone says, oh, it's the truck traffic. The same truck traffic is on the north end of Rock Crusher Road is on the south end of Rock Crusher Road in front of my business. The road in front of my business is not destroyed. There's about a 200-foot section it is. Between the two entrances to Takersley Concrete, on the left-hand side of the road going north, water stands in that ditch for weeks after it rains. There's no drainage at all. There's a culvert pipe under the second entrance at Rock Crusher, of his entrance, of his business. Water never runs under it. I'm sure it's stopped up. This water stands and eventually seeps under the roadbed of Rock Crusher Road. And due to this road's a mess. This road doesn't need to be paved. This road needs to be dug up, the roadbed rebuilt, and then it needs to be concreted or paved, whichever the city chooses to do. If everybody thinks it's the truck traffic that creates it, it needs to be concreted. As far as the safety of a road goes, it's just a matter of time before there is an accident in this section. It's a matter of time before someone busts a tire. Public Works, at some point in time, has poured concrete in certain areas. This concrete now stands 2 to 3 inches higher than the asphalt does. Is the city gonna pay for tires and wheels when people start cutting tires and busting wheels because of lack of road maintenance? You're paving subdivisions. The subdivision that my daughter lives in, thank you, you paved it, Joanne Circle. It needed it. It was terrible to be a new subdivision. This road has been in this condition for years. And I'm talking multiple years, double-digit years. Nothing has been done about it. What are we gonna do about it, people? It's a mess. It needs to be done. Did you come and look at it when I called you a couple months ago?
Yes, sir.
It's a mess, isn't it?
This needs to be fixed.
It doesn't need to be paved. It needs to be fixed. I welcome any others of you to drive out there and look at it. Something needs to be done. If there's a priority list for road repair in this city, Rock Crusher Road needs to be at the top of it. It's just not a city road. It's heavily used by people that live in the Verona County area, people that live in Berlin area, whatever. It's a bypass to Walmart for those that live in that area. Something needs to be done. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm begging you to fix it. It is a mess. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody? Okay, we're gonna, Barbara, you gonna help with the, now we're gonna do the service awards. Now, we would like the employee that is going to be honored, along with your supervisor, come forward as well.
Okay.
All right, first one.
So we're going to start with the 5-year Police Lieutenant Dustin Turner. Please come forward.
Congratulations. Is someone taking pictures?
Debbie, can you type together? It's fine.
Oh, you want to wait until we're all?
Just the 5 years. Yeah, all the 5 years.
Next one for 5-year is Animal Control Supervisor Michael Fernandez. And that's all the 5 years.
Michael?
No, that's it.
Open up the board so that- see if please. Okay. Thank you. Now the 10-year pennies. Woo! Many. Several. First,
Okay, Recreation Maintenance Crew, Tim Adams. If he's not here, will you take his certificate.
Okay.
Airport Manager Kent Stuman.
Kent, come on down. Thank you for your service.
Rec Assistant Ben Brandon.
Hi, young man. Has it been 10 years? Wow. And here's your pen. I need Michael, here's your book. Did Michael leave us?
Public Works Admin Assistant Patrick Taylor.
Patrick here? Here you come. Congratulations.
Fire Chief Drew Hawkins. Fire Lieutenant Jason Woodard. That's all of your tenures.
Congratulations, and let's get where we could open up so.
So they can see. While they're getting them opened up, I want to say that a lot of times I get to deal with people that went to Marshall Elementary when I was there as principal. And Ben was one of the ones that I dealt with a lot, because as he began to get his mobility and began to walk, we had to stop him from running down the hallway. We were all so excited.
Let's open up.
Get a little closer together. Moving like the last.
All right, everybody, smile.
See Kennedy back there.
Did everybody get their pens?
My newspaper online. Well, it ain't even online, it's Tracy telling me.
15 years, wow.
Fire Captain Cody Street. He's not here. Okay. Drew, you want to come up?
Come
and-
on up and sit.
Fire Captain Corey Carden.
Congratulations. Here's you take your pen.
15. Firefighter Bobby Eddy. Is not here? Okay, Drew. That's all of them. On the 15.
Make like you like it.
Oh, I guess so.
One 20-year, who is that person?
Firefighter Philip Blackwell.
Philip Black, come on down. Did you start to work at 5? Thank you so much for it. It's right here. Thank you so much. 30 years, wow.
He's older than what I see.
Yeah.
Fire Captain Bill Thomas.
Here's a pen. Open. You got me smarter than that. Congratulations to all. That's everybody, correct? Yes. We shall proceed on.
That explains the crowd. Right here. Approve acceptance.
I didn't add those up mentally, the total number of years that were presented, but been several. Would it be over 100 years with all the ones we did, close to it? That's a testament, I think, to, how many?
Yes, sir.
We're at 80 at just about a 10
Right, and then there's 50 in the last two people, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's
that's, a-
over 200 years.
really?
the two.
Well, that's a testament to our employees who have hung in there in good times and bad times and have been loyal to the citizens of Lewisburg, and we appreciate every one of them. Thank you again.
Item 3, approval of minutes for December 9th, 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Councilwoman Thomas makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Robertson seconds the motion. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Michael,
No. Oh, yes.
Councilman Burns,
Sorry.
Councilman Robertson,
Yes.
Councilman Crutcher,
Aye.
Councilman Thomas.
Thank you. Next
Item 4, approval of December 2026 bills and November 2026 financial statements.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilwoman Michael makes the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Councilwoman Thomas seconds that motion. Is there discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Michael,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Robinson,
Aye.
Councilman Crutcher,
Aye.
Councilman Thomas.
Thank
We-
you.
We have no old business, so we're going to number 6, new business, discussion and possible action to provide direction on road paving issues with Brindley Court.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like the opportunity to speak. I probably have a motion later on. This was brought to my attention about 2 weeks ago. The lady in the audience that stood up, I wasn't aware of the bad situation of that road because Southview that goes all the way around it has been paved. I think there's been some talk of if it's a city street, if it's not a city street. In my opinion, I think it is a city street, and here's why. The plat of the subdivision is recorded in the Marshall County Courthouse. The former council at the time, September the 11th, 2018, and Gene, if you would quote me for each word I say, I know I supposed to told you that time. They passed a resolution to put street lights on the street. And I believe Public Works put signs on the street. To me, in my opinion, if we put the street lights on the street and been, paying the electric bill for the street lights on the street all these years, why are we paying the electric bill on the street that's not the city's? That's first of all. Then the matter of checks, and I'd like to ask Mr. Porter and Mr. Coble, a little discussion, if you would. One or the other, you had stated, did y'all provide a check to the city of Lewisburg as a bond or deposit or whatever at the time or about when?
When we started that,
Could you stand up so we hear you?
yes, sir, when we started that 8 lots to go back in there, we did provide the city a check.
And to your knowledge, the city didn't cash it, right?
To my knowledge, they have not.
Did not return to you, but you did provide one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I asked Mr. Owens last week how far back he looked. Mr. Owens, you may want to come up. And he said he looked back at 2018, trying to reconcile to see if a check was there. So
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, here's the problem I have. They'd started looking for checks, I think Barbara and you, Mr. Owens, started looking for checks in the vault, correct? And y'all didn't start looking for the checks in the vault until Brindley Court come up,
Yes, sir.
is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, since that time, instead of retaining those records, the records have been shredded, correct?
Well, we found 4 items in the safe, 2 of which were, one appeared to be an old surety from around 1999. There is no identification of any project or anything. We also found a check from a Rockwood, I believe, which was indicated as voided on the face of the check. We found correspondence from the Water Department from 2007, I believe, and a letter of credit regarding some project. Again, not sure what project it was, but from 2007. We assumed that was completed. There's been no, since I've been here in 2 years, no inquiries or request of anything regarding any of these items. And then the check that was from Rockwood for, which I don't know why is indicated as void, but that was just laying in the vault. So recently have been undertaken an initiative to try to address a lot of the overcrowding of files and things. So we have gone through the records retention review per state statutes, and we have disposed of a lot of records. And so these appeared to have no value. They're old, stale, dated. There was 2 checks. One, obviously, as I said, had written void on the face of it. There's no other information regarding the other check from 1999. So I determined that these were they're well past record retention requirements, and accordingly, they were disposed of.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little iffy, we've had this conversation, it's kind of a little iffy that we started on Brindley Court and nobody could find that check, but we're,
Well,
destroying checks now.
Sure.
On 2007, there was records of cost estimate for Water Department for water and sewer extension.
Yeah, for a project, and there's also a letter of credit attached from a bank for that,
Letter of credit from a bank.
for a project, but it was, again, that expires, this letter of credit expires
And
1 year
these dated
from
back to 2007, right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir,
1999.
yeah.
$2,000 check for excavation company. No explanation, and I'll point out that Mr. Owen was not here at the time. And we appreciate him coming on board with us. 2022, a voided check from Rockwood for deposit. Attention Greg Lowe. But this sale was completed, and we have the money in the bank for that transaction now, correct?
Correct, I believe that closing was on around December of 2023. I was here shortly after, I arrived shortly after that time.
After that. So I don't, for the procedure, right or wrong, or what happened or did not happen, I don't wanna see the taxpayers here with the most, I don't even have to tell you how bad the road is, but the city's got some responsibility here. We can't, people can't be accepting checks and they stick in the vault and we don't record them properly. And I've talked to Mr. Owens, I think there's a kind of different policy going forward. You want to explain that last one about
Yeah,
Dawson Construction?
if I could add follow up
No,
on what you
please,
just
yeah.
mentioned, Councilman Burns.
Please.
During the search that we undertook to try to locate either a check laying somewhere, or if the check had actually been deposited, as part of that search, we went back through the record of receipts in the journal ledger from 2018. I went up through 2023, could find no record of that payment in question. We did find, however, a payment of $70,000 from Mace Development in 2021 for a paving in the Morgan Meadows project. So then after subsequent to that, in 2024, my first year here, there was a record of a $20,000 payment from Scott Dodson for road work in a project of his. Both of those, I mean, not both, but the $70,000 under previous administration was deposited and booked to a restricted escrow account. And then when I was here, the $20,000 was deposited and recorded as a restricted liability account. In the case of Mr. Dodson, he promptly performed the required work. The city accepted the roads, and we promptly refunded Mr. Dodson's escrow money. So in my observations, it appears that the city, since 2021, has been handling receipt of escrow funds as generally accepted accounting rules would require. So that's just the results of my investigation into the matter.
And the 70,000 was logged in for Morgan Meadows.
Morgan Meadows.
And if the developer does not finish that, the city has the money to finish the street, correct?
Correct. If that 70,000
yeah.
was in the bank, and I spoke, as you and I had a conversation earlier today, this morning, or yesterday, I did reach out to Brandon, and he went out and looked at the development this morning. And actually, that's a similar situation. It appears that the developer, builder, whatever this Mace development is, has not put the second coat on those roads either. So that's something that we're aware of and following up on.
So I don't know, and I want to give everybody else a chance to speak, but the capital note, there's a balance in the capital note. You don't have to go back and, 162,900. There's a balance in road paving that you don't have to go back and ask the taxpayers for more money. It's there. All it would take is, if Brindley is actually worst road in Lewisburg, according to Brandon's list, I don't think it's on there, you just move it up to number one, and number one would go to number two. And I think it's a city street. We may not have to accept it, but if y'all in agreement that we need to bring it in, you know, I'm ready to make a motion that we bring it in, pave it, and fix these taxpayers so kids are not falling, ladies are not falling. The U.S. Postal Service can deal, and it looks like the majority of is tore up from our contract with the garbage trucks. So that's the only heavy thing going in there.
It's
That's-
bad.
That's all I've got for right now, Mayor.
All right?
You made a motion to
No,
pay.
we're,
or
no,
Yeah, you didn't.
we're not motion. First of all, the streetlights. Streetlights are not in the subdivision regulations at that time. That was strictly by tradition. When they were finished, they found the property lines, and then they came and asked us to pay for the street lighting. So the street lights have nothing to do with the road structure itself. The fact is, the final course was not placed. There's no denying that. And whatever the back and forth was, there's no notice of that happening. So I don't think it's right for the taxpayers to pay for what private developers agreed to do when they signed that subdivision plat. I think they have an obligation to do it, if not even a moral obligation. So further discussion.
Mayor, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, what you said about the street lights? Street lights was not in the recorded plat, is that what you're saying?
No, I said.
I didn't understand.
Street lights, the placement of street lights are not part of the subdivision regulations. The paving of the streets are, and the street lights have nothing to do with the structure of the road.
It may not be in the planning regulations, you may be very well correct, but if the council at that time authorized the placement of it, and the city is paying for the utility bill of those lights all these years, then why have we been paying the electric bill for the street lights if it's not a city street?
Well, we're calling it a street light, but I rode out there and the lights are actually in the yards. They're not in the street. And when I read this resolution right here, requesting the placement of the 4 LED street lights, the Rhineland Drive is just a location to put them. That's just explaining where to put them. It doesn't say it's a city street. It doesn't imply it's a city street. The fact of the matter is that that developer did not put the second coat down that allowed the city to adopt it. It was never asked to be put in the adoption. It's not in the minutes and anywhere.
The bottom line is they didn't comply with what they were supposed to do. The developers didn't. And now to ask these other citizens of Lewisburg to pay for what they committed to do is not right. I can't explain that to my constituency, how I'm confident they have the financial assets to meet their obligation.
The electric poles should be in the easement of the street. Now,
Well,
I know you have one in your yard,
Yeah.
but is it in the easement of the street? Is it
I
in the
didn't
right?
measure, I didn't get out of the car and measure into
So
the
in
road
past,
to the.
so in
lot.
past, that's probably right, but since the general manager has been at Electric System now, they try to get an easement, or underground utilities, they try to get an easement and not place it in the yard without an easement.
Right. I was just making a point that this, just because we put these lights out there does not mean that the city adopted that street.
Yeah, they're on the pole, the lights are on.
No, I know that. Yeah, they're not in the ground or laying in the road. Yes, I know they're on the pole.
Before there was any easements, the electric department, this is based on my observation over 40 years, they would find the front corner where the where the property line is, and place that pole behind where that iron pin was on the private property, not in the street right away. But again, the street lights has nothing to do with the structure of the pavement. Absolutely nothing.
I agree, it doesn't have anything to do with the roads tore up or not, but, you know, we're paying the utility bill on it, why are we paying the utility bill on streetlights?
I think you're implying that.
I'm not implying anything, I just said it. Quote me.
Excuse me. If I follow your train of thought, you're saying because of the placement of lights, that somehow justify them not meeting their obligation to put that final coat on.
We're paying we're paying the electric bill because the city agreed to put lights out there. had nothing to do with the street, and the street's in terrible condition, I realize that. But the city has not adopted that street for maintenance. It is the developer's responsibility to finish what he started so that it could be adopted, and we can put that final one down. But this resolution provides the city lights. We did that, we pay the bill.
I mean, nobody here evidently, I don't really know if you're here, Mayor. I mean, all these checks, I mean, nobody knows if a check was in the vault, destroyed, shredded, or what. They said they gave the city a check for a deposit. If the city, if they did that, then the city should have that money to go pave the street because they put up a cash bond, according to these gentlemen.
Can I correct you, Tom?
Yes, sir. Please stand up so we hear you, please.
We didn't write a check for a deposit. We wrote a check to the city manager, Randall Dunn, for $20-something thousand, some odd dollars for the city to pay. It never was put on us to pay. He made a deal that the city gets the state contract and pay it, which is a cheaper way to do it, to save the contractor's money. He made that deal, we wrote a check to him. The city didn't do their obligation, they didn't pay it. They called me 4 years later. If you would ask Brandon ain't privy to the exact conversation, but Brandon, who told you put the road signs up? Was that done on or about the time that the road was made?
That was done right after the first coach.
Okay. I mean, that's the honest God's truth. I have no reason to lie. And yes, we got the money to pay it, but we're not going to because it's not our obligation.
But the city never cashed a check, correct?
Honey, I don't have a clue. Ms.
Please
Council-
don't refer.
And
Ms.
not only that,
Councilwoman, I do.
but, excuse me, but when you called me the other night to have this conversation, you told me they never cashed a check. You came right out and said that.
Well, you can ask Cameron, he takes care of that, but by what I understand, they did not cash the check. It was
Okay.
left in the safe for 3 or 4 years.
Right, and so there's no follow-through there? After about 6 months, you're wondering where the asphalt is?
We went and put the asphalt on.
No, I'm talking about the one you're saying that the
We
city
put
was
the
paying.
first coat on.
I understand that, sir.
Under that circumstances, then the city manager at that time was matching. He said, if you put that one coat on Brimley, then it matches the one coat that's on Southview. Southview had one coat on it for about 12, 14 years. The second coat on Southview was put on by the city this year. Not 14, 15 years ago when the city should have done it.
My question is, did you not have any, if I gave somebody a $20,000+ check, I'd be following up. And it wouldn't take 4 years to do it.
If you write me a
And
check.
that's your developer, you're the developer of that subdivision. And you should have spearheaded it. Make sure it was correct.
The city should have cashed the check and did what they were supposed to do.
Mr.
Everything he said is right. I moved out there in 2012. There was one layer on Southview. Southview now has a beautiful paved from the city. And if we're in this cahoots of, is it city or not?
Right.
We pay city taxes in Brenlin.
That's bad.
If it's not city, then why are we paying city taxes?
Mr. Hutto, you may need to help me with this. What they were, he referred to Mr. Dunn using, I believe, a cooperative agreement that we have with the Marshall County Highway Department, where we can use their per ton price if the contractor is willing to do it. For the city to have done that, use that to pave it, it had to be a city street. And it never was a city street, and it wouldn't have been legal for him to use that cooperative agreement for paving to do the street. Now,
I believe that's correct, Mayor, that the cities or any municipality, county can't use its taxpayer funds to improved property it doesn't own, whether that's, you know, a street in this case, or, you know, the city manager's, house. You know, you just can't use it for private property, and there's a process for accepting a street that, you know, ends with, a resolution or ordinance saying the city's adding it to its road list and it's accepted as a public street, and that it's, conforms as built. You know, what has happened in the past, it's very hard to say, especially as someone who, is not here. If I were a contractor, I'd be hesitant to write any check to a city manager, no matter who he was, rather than, to the city itself.
It was to the city of Lewisburg, it was not to one person.
Well, you said two different things. So
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah,
You
you
said
said
you-
Please,
you-
please.
Yeah, you most definitely said that.
Directly.
Excuse me, Mr. Hudoff, I may interrupt. Yeah, that's what you said, but Mr.
I might have
Coble,
said too, Mr. Dunn.
yeah, you did, but
Used to pass
Mr.
the
Coble
city.
handles the check. Mr. Coble, who did y'all write the
To
check?
city of Lewisburg.
Thank you.
And until there's a record of the check, or there's some information that shows that somebody talked with the Marshall County Highway Department about paving it, or there's some indication that the city accepted it, which can't be found in the minutes or the resolutions, which is essentially the written history of the city, it's not a city road, unless, you know, the city would have to vote to accept it. The developers have to either, you know, and the city could accept it and do the work themselves. The city could, you know, demand that the developers bring it up to spec in accordance with subdivision regulations, and then accept it. And,
Again, to be legal,
to be legal.
the council would have to accepted the road as a public street. And Mr. Dunn never brought to the council a request to declare that that was a city street. It is still not a city street.
Right.
And us paving it is, I
Jeff,
don't know if that's legal.
Jeff, can you come, I wanna ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
It's not a city street, why are we paying city taxes?
Okay, Jeff, one, okay, you say you wrote a check, the check was wrote for $20,000.
20-something, I don't
Yeah,
remember
okay.
exactly what that was.
Okay, but we don't have any kind of, anything to show that that check was cashed.
It was not.
Okay, but you were in agreement that it was supposed to put a second coat on there. Second coat hadn't been put on.
The second coat hadn't been put on, but what
Okay,
I'm
now,
saying.
now,
Go ahead.
now, are you saying that you still don't have any obligation at all? I mean,
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying.
because you still had, I mean, you still was supposed to, the second coat was supposed to be put on and nobody was paid for it. I mean, if
If it was
if
put on,
if the city had cashed the $20,000, then I would think they would be responsible for doing it because they took the deal that you gave them. But the check wasn't cashed, so it goes back to you. And you think you don't have an obligation at all?
well, here's what happened. When we wrote the check for $20-something thousand in 2018, Buck Beard got the bid from Lincoln Pave, or whoever the state contractor at that time was. Their bid to pave 2 coats on that subdivision was that 20, that's how we come up with that figure, $20-something thousand. Okay, today, if I, just say I'm writing that check today on y'all's, how y'all do it today. All right, I'd write that $20-something thousand check. And then I go out there and I do my thing, and just say things don't work out for me, I go bankrupt. Just say I'm bankrupt. You got $20-something thousand to pave that road, but that's what that bid was for. You don't give it back to me. Mr. Hutto's philosophy that you can't take taxpayer money to pave a road that ain't the city, then if I'm a taxpayer and I write you a $20-something thousand check, how are you gonna take that deposit or whatever you call that I give you, and you go pave the road? It's not a city street, is what y'all saying. You can't have it both ways. If you,
Well, we're saying that you did not meet your obligation, and it is obvious there is not a second coat on that
Yeah, but
street.
you're not out of nothing.
I
mean,
I'm here to.
If
whatever y'all-
the deal had went through, you would have been out of $20,000, right?
Yes,
Okay, right now, you hadn't paid anything.
Yes, sir.
So you think you're not obligated to pay
I paid
anything?
for $20-something thousand for the first coat. Ask Brandon, the first coat was put on by us. That's why we done paid only one coat, because it actually doubled, and Buck made the deal to say, Jeff, you bring Brindley Court up to the same spec as Southview is, and we'll be good. He was supposed to come, there was 3 roads paved at that same time: Lexi Drive, Malian Court, and Brindley Court. 2 coats was put on Malian, 2 coats was put on Lexi Drive, and 1 coat was put on Brindley, and all 3 of them were supposed to be brought up here to the city of Lewisburg to adopt the roads. At that particular time, we didn't have to go and request for the roads to be done. That only happened within the last year. Now we have to do that. Then, I don't know who done it, street department, who done it, I have no clue. But it just happened.
So was it $20,000 for the first coat or the second coat?
In 2018, it was $20-something thousand for 2 coats.
Okay.
When it got paved in about 2022, it was $20-something thousand for 1 coat. You see what I'm saying? And my obligation was met, because my obligation was met with the city, the manager, Randall Dunn, and the public works director at that time, Buck Beard. When I had a conversation with Brandon, the public works guy today, that was come into it at that time, he wasn't privy to mine and Buck's conversation, so he can't get up here and swear that everything I'm telling you is true. But you do not put road signs up, and you do not install street lights unless it's a city road. And street lights does not mean it's in the street. It means it's over here on the side shining on the street. Just for clarification, you don't put street lights in a street. You put them in the right of way. And I'm sorry if I'm upset, but we got 2 obligations here, and the city can do the right thing, or you don't have to do the right thing, and we'll go from there. That's all I know. But to sit up here and say a businessman for 20-something years, I have never beat nobody out of a nickel. I paid you several $1,000s, Mayor Bingham, to do the work on a lot of these things, and I never beat you out of a nickel. Why am I gonna beat the city?
Jeff, a question for you. I don't mean to interrupt you. Did Buck or anybody else ever call you about a check or deposit?
He called me and said that he couldn't find the check. And I said, Buck, you got the check. You need to find it. He found it, and he did find it, and it was in the safe downstairs that never was cashed. When I'm saying, I know it wasn't never cashed or deposited, because it was still in the safe 3 or 4 years, 5 years later. I have no clue.
And nobody here knows what happened to that check.
Well, I can tell you what happened
These
to
other
it.
checks were in there after 20 years.
Well, after 4, if the check was 3 or 4 years old, then he can't cash it anyway. A check's only good for like 90 days. So it couldn't be deposited. But the check was there, and not only that, that happened several times. It happened all the way back into the Eddie Fuller days. I have wrote checks and brought to Eddie Fuller on drainage ditches and stuff like that. You'd have to write a check, and he would hold that check until the grass grows and vegetation gets on the ditches and all that. And once them ditches got grass, or he was satisfied, he'd give you the check back. He never cashed it, and he never deposited it. It sat in the safe down there.
So what's the $20,000 for the top coat, for us to finish the road?
Both coats.
For both coats?
Yes.
Not the coat that's on it right now?
No, sir.
So you don't think you should be out of at least $20,000 to move
We're
forward
out of-
since the check wasn't cashed?
We're out of $20-something thousand because we put the code on.
Okay, you lost me right
We
there.
paid for the first cut.
Okay, the $20,000,
Whatever it was in the bid for the other, we paid for the first coat.
so was that what the $20,000 or
No,
20?
I think he was holding that, so they
For
were
the
finished.
second cut.
For the second coat? Okay. So the second coat ain't been put on? So if we was to move forward to try to get the road some type of obligations, y'all don't think y'all should be out of that check at least?
We're
I mean,
out
you
of
paid
that
for,
check.
you're supposed to have paid for it anyway. I'm just saying if we picked up not saying that we are, it's just my opinion. If we was to pick up the rest of the bill, wouldn't you be obligated to pay for the 26? Or I think it's what you told me on the phone, about 26.
Well, here's
it was
what I
about $26,000.
It's up 26, 27,
Yeah,
it's up, I
okay.
don't remember it, but here's my obligation. In 2000, now listen, Vicki, don't turn, pay attention to me, I don't want to be,
Excuse me.
well, I want us to be on the same page, and if somebody feels like they're not paying attention, then I'm wasting my time, I can go sit down. I'm trying to tell you. In 2018, we wrote a check to the city of Lewisburg
Right.
$20-something thousand.
Correct.
That was for 2 coats of paving that the city was gonna do. That the city manager made a deal to us that he would have it done.
Right.
So, in 2021
This is after the coat that's already on there.
No, sir. The coat that's already on there got put on in
So the city put the
2022.
coat that's down there right now?
No, sir. Can you explain it to him, Brandon? Maybe I can't explain it to him, Brandon.
I'm just
I
trying to understand
I'm
too,
not-
cause it's like,
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what a $20,000 was for. If y'all got the check back for we're gonna say 26, cause that's what you told me on the phone. For $26,000, if that check, I'm just trying to figure out where, like, how it just, you didn't have to pay for it, and then you want us to pay for it. That's just what I'm trying to figure out. That's where I'm at with it.
I believe what he's trying to say is the 26 or 27,000 was for both coats at that time. So it costed them that amount just to get the one coat down.
4 years later.
4 years
Asphalt
later.
doubled. So we paid what we
Right.
But,
paid in 2018.
yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir, please.
Let me get this right. Y'all know where Southview is, right? And you know where Brindley is, right? Mm-hmm. All right, I lived on Southview in 2012. Cameron will tell you I bought it from him in 2014, wasn't it? He added on, not him, they added on and paved again from Southview down. Then I waited for him to get the road done, sorry Cameron, and they did Brindley. All the pavement was the same level. There was one thickness on Southview, one thickness added on to the other, and y'all have accepted Southview as a road and paved the whole cul-de-sac and the other road that comes off Southview. What is the difference between Brindley? And if you say it's not a city street, then why are we been paying city taxes on it for the last 5 years?
What other road off of Southview are you referring to?
Cameron?
What they extended it to.
Cooper has not been accepted.
We paid just the full phase 1 part.
Cooper's not been accepted, neither has that back part of Southview. He's never brought us the paperwork for that.
It's all been paved.
I understand that. No, not by us. The Cooper has not been paid by us. No,
Okay,
sir.
well, Cameron, whoever.
Brandon, on
did Southview-
Southview, excuse me, on Southview from about the dollar store on, the city just recently paved all the way around that curve up to a point
Yes,
where
we
it
paved
does not
phase
have
one.
straight lights.
We paved phase 1 of Southview. The backside where Southview, when you first turn on it and you make that curve at the backside, I believe it's the first or second house on the right is where we stopped at. From there back out is what the city already owns now. That was done before, back when the city was building roads and helping developers and stuff like that. Then from there on, and Cooper and all that, Jeff has paved the first and second coat on them. So we didn't pave the back part at all.
But he hasn't filled out a form for Cooper for the city to accept yet.
No, ma'am.
He's done the paving, but he hadn't filled out a form for the city to accept it. And there is a form that he has to fill out for the city to accept that road.
Yes, ma'am.
And that road was paved,
Back
Cooper and the
in
back.
May, yeah, I look back to my
May.
records in May of 15th, I think.
And so it's been almost a year and we still don't have that paperwork to adopt those or accept them.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Probably still in the same.
Again, our city attorney has said that that is not a city street, and that's, for us, I guess it's illegal for us to do that. Now, let me go a little more depth of how that paving evolved. One of the things that the reason there's 2 courses is, when you put down the base coat, well, first of all, you're supposed to proof roll the existing dirt or dirt that's hauled in to be sure that it is solid. Okay? Then you put on the crushed stone. And then, that's supposed to be to a certain standard. Then the decision, this was all discussed at the planning commission where this rule came about. They call it a B coat, which has a larger aggregate, which was placed. And what that it was to do for these garbage trucks, for these cement trucks, for these lumber trucks, these heavy-duty trucks, to go in there, and if there's going to be any soft spots, they're going to be able to discover where they are so they can be repaired before we put the finished coat on. That's the whole purpose of that. So I submit to you that the base was not properly constructed, or you wouldn't have had these failures. But that's still beside the point. Our city attorney says it's not a city street, and it is not. It is the obligation of the developers to put that, to fix it, plus put that final coat on. Any more discussion?
This is a,
Mayor Shannon has left the room, so
oh, I'm sorry.
can we pause until he returns?
We can-
We good? We good?
Meet here in the bathroom. I'm good.
Okay, go ahead. Somebody else was gonna say something?
I just was gonna say, I went out with Brandon for a lesson in roads, and it's got the gravel and dirt, and the surface that was supposed to hold up trucks, not the final coat, but would be this. I just picked a piece of it up. It looks like alligator scales out there. I just picked a piece of it up. It's supposed to have another coat on top of this. If it had the other coat and the road was built right, it would last for 25 years and not need any repair. So there's a failure even under this coat, apparently, for it to break up so badly, because it's my understanding the heavy trucks and the building trucks and the things going in and out to build and complete the subdivision are supposed to use this without it breaking up. And then when you put the other coat on, then you've got a 25-year road that nobody would have to touch. And you have to admit, this certainly didn't hold up enough to hold up a road with a final coat on it. So something's wrong with that layer, in my humble opinion, of roads.
I've never seen a road hold up 25 years
Well,
with
that's
truck
what-
traffic on it.
Well, that's what the statistics say. If it's built right, it'll last.
Where'd you
a
get your
asphalt road.
stats?
Out of about 42 YouTube videos that I set up and watched
Because
the
I
other
know the
night.
industrial park is not held up for 25 years.
Well, again, if built right, a lot of times the acceptance of roads and stuff, there may have been flaws in the acceptance of them. I know people who drill a core just to see that every part of it was done right. Now, we don't do that here in Lewisburg. Maybe that's a possibility too. I'm just presenting that a road that it was built right, if the base was right, it should have held up better than this is holding up. And this is the first layer that Jeff and them said they put down.
Well, my point was, what was underneath it wasn't properly constructed.
Well, that's what I'm agreeing with you on, is that.
But y'all
it has
don't
to
know
break up
that,
so
y'all
bad.
expressing your own private opinion.
Of course, and I have some expertise in that area, please.
I do too, thank you.
But again, we're down to the bottom line that Mr. Hutto has said that it is not a city street.
Mayor, I would like to, at the proper time, to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion that I would like to make a motion, if this is not a city street, due to the flaws that I've seen in the check process. You're recording, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Go ahead.
To use some of the funds in the capital outlay note to pave Brindley Court and do the base and completely finish it, as the taxpayers have requested.
Need a second?
seconds.
Any second?
I'll second.
Additional discussion?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about using that balance of the road paving, because I'm afraid in our capital budget that anything that we have left over would need to go to that Third Avenue drainage. That quotes at least a year and a half old, isn't it?
It is.
And we know that it's not gonna come in, or we don't know that, but we have a feeling that a year and a half later, that 485 is not gonna be sufficient for that.
We're suspicious.
So that any capital funds that we have left over should be held for the Third Avenue drainage project.
There was $162,000 worth of paving specifically that had not been gotten to.
Correct.
But it has been designated.
It has been designated. There's
Right.
been roads, there's a list.
Right, correct.
So it'd have to be pulled off of that to fund.
We would have to, there would have to be something moved down the list to
Correct.
put Brindley Court on there.
And that would have to go back to the budget committee before it came back to the council.
I don't think so.
I'm just
Why would it, Mayor?
What?
Why would it? The capital outlay note is already approved.
Mr. Hutto?
And the treasurer gave us a report. Balance of road paving, 162,900,000. So why would we have to go back anywhere?
That's been allocated to other roads. Mr. Hutto, help me on that. Please
Well,
tell me.
I think there would certainly have to be some reallocation, but the main thing, the first thing, there has to be a decision on whether or not, to accept this as a city street, either as it is or, the subdivision, Lewisburg subdivision regulations are last updated in 2015. So the procedure of having the council accept it was in place whenever this happened, and it just simply didn't happen.
Sounds like it was a loosey-goosey procedure
Absolutely.
at best.
Well,
Why should we take
it
the
may have
fall
been,
for it? That's what it was.
and we can't change what people were doing in the past, but they did have a document they should have been following. And I'm not gonna advise the city council to go against what that document says now and to go against state law and to take action to spend taxpayer money on something that's not a public road yet.
Is there a legal liability there if we were to do that?
Well, I think it could have, if the.
Could a other taxpayer,
I think other taxpayers could have objections to it. I think the comptroller's office would have objections to, spending taxpayer money on something that is not public property. And, when you do things that are outside the scope of, the city council does something outside the scope of its charter and authority, it doesn't have the authority to spend money on things that are not public property.
It will be public property if we pass the motion.
No, it'll be public property if you have a resolution to accept the street. You can't just have a motion to pave it without it being a public street.
Tommy, you need to change your motion to.
I'll change my motion. Mr. Hutto, why don't you tell us how we can do something instead of how we always can't do something?
Well, sure.
I told an attorney 20 years ago that, and it made a difference. Tell us how to make my motion, then everybody can vote on it.
okay, that's
Fair?
Well,
That's-
Mr. Porter
Are
just
you
tells what to
withdrawing
do.
your withdrawing your motion?
He just told you what to do, and you said, okay, I will.
Is that okay, Mayor?
You withdrawing your motion,
I
correct?
withdraw my motion?
Have you withdrawn your second,
Yep.
Councilwoman?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now, Mr. Hutto, do you want to word the motion that I'm trying to
Please,
achieve?
address me, please, and I'll ask.
Well, and.
No, I'll just do the motion myself. Make a motion to do a resolution and any other legal documents that it may take to take in Brindley Court, take in the street, using the fund balance of the road paving from the capital note.
Okay, do we have a
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Further discussion?
I hate to knock anybody off of the list that's already on the list, but Brindley Court is in such bad shape. I feel so bad for those people having to live on that street. I just don't know what else to do. If there's another solution, somebody please tell me.
Well, I wish we would come up with one because I feel bad for them as well. I've been talking about it for a year too. And I think something do need to be done about it, but it also goes back to I'm trying not to go back to a lot of things. Like, I'm just trying to figure out why last year y'all didn't want to spend the dime, and then all of a sudden it's like y'all want to throw all the money in the pot with this deal, knowing that it's not our road.
Who's y'all?
You funny, me, Miss Linda and Mr. Burns. So that's what I'm not understanding. So I'm totally not against what them getting their road done. I'm really not. I think we need to come up with a solution. I'm still not understanding where that $26,000 went. So I'm still stuck on that. So my thing over there is I guess I need an explanation on that later on when I get there. But that's the part I don't understand. So because if they wrote a check and then they didn't pay for anything.
I don't think there's an explanation. I think we have some unknowns that we don't know the answer
Yeah, but we
to.
shouldn't take the fall for the unknowns though.
Well-
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just like y'all going hard on making sure that we pay for it, and y'all don't know no more than we do because nobody was there.
Okay, with the y'all.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just my bad. Okay, some of us. Is that okay? Is it okay? I apologize for the y'all. That's my word. So some of us. That's the word I'll use. I'm sorry for the y'all, man.
I'll answer your question. Yeah, I want to, raise revenue, cut budgets where we can.
Right.
Last year, I was not aware of this road. I wasn't aware, and I go by that main street all the time. I just failed to turn up in there and look how bad the street is. But it's one of the worst streets, and it's about reprioritizing the city streets.
Well, I think for the most part, just to be fair, I feel like if whatever the bill is, I think they should be liable for some of it too. I don't think we should take the whole bill if that's something I would like to consider, if anything, because I don't think we should have to front that whole bill.
Well, now, before Mr. Baxter stated to us, we have a section there that is a city street that is not budgeted. That's not in that 169,000. That would probably eat that up plus more.
Yeah.
But again, everybody is sympathetic with the situation.
Right.
But the city of Lewisburg did not cause that problem. What caused the problem was the developers did not fulfill their contract, or we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Can I ask something then? So you're saying that if the check had been cashed, the city wouldn't have finished that road, and this conversation would be happening? Is that what you're saying?
First, please don't put words in my mouth, but
I
that,
didn't. I said
wait,
if
just,
the
what,
city would cash
what,
the check.
just a minute. What the plan was that you have described with Mr. Dunn was not legal then.
And Buck Beard, if they would have cashed the
That
check,
it was-
the street would have been done, and this conversation of everything would not be going on. Is that right or wrong? That's the
That
question.
is wrong because that was illegal. There was no provision for this.
Then they did something illegal.
You're a city manager.
That,
Then they did something illegal.
him agreeing to do that was not legal.
Then they did, we didn't do anything illegal. We did what you told us.
I'm not suggesting you do. What I'm suggesting was, let me finish. What Mr. Dunn done was improper.
Okay.
He did not have the power to do what he did, and he apparently came up with this scheme to use the continuing contract that we have with the Marshall County Highway Department to do the paving. But he did not have that authority, and it didn't happen. Okay, further discussion.
Are you ready to take a vote?
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Michael.
No.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Robertson.
No.
Councilman Crutcher.
No.
Councilman Thomas.
Aye.
Fails.
Thank you. What's the next item?
Next
Can I
up,
suggest, is it something that we could do? Cause I don't wanna just throw this situation away. They still need their roads done.
I just wanna know how many kids have gotta get hurt in order to get this fixed, whether it's them or you guys.
Yeah,
That's all I wanna know.
I agree.
How would you feel it was your grandchild or your child and that happened?
Ma'am, you
What
have,
would you do?
Thanks, State Mayor.
That or an accident happens, because in that curve, we have to be in the middle. Either which way, you can't see because the fence, for one, and then being in the middle. And I have a Jeep Wrangler, and it's hard for me to even go with a, I mean, it's awful.
we don't deny that, ma'am. Thank you.
Is it something we could do?
Next item? Is there additional items?
Ask Brandon.
Hey, can we ask Brandon to come up here and ask him, is there anything
Sure.
feasible for us? That's a good word too, feasible. What can we do about the roads, Brandon, man? What's to make, cause we in a situation, man, so what is something logical that would, that
Legally, what I can,
Legally, yeah,
legally,
I
what
guess-
I can do is basically what Mr. Hutto and everybody has stated. I cannot do anything if it does not belong to us.
correct?
If you guys vote and accept it as a public road, then I can go in there and fix it.
Okay, that's the only option we get.
From me,
Okay.
yes. I mean, I know that wasn't the solution you wanted to hear, but
No, I was hoping you gave us a little more. Something to-
Well, the simple solution is the developers
Yeah,
meet
but
their
that-
obligation.
I mean, even if we go in there
I agree
and
with
fix
that.
the holes and gravel it, I mean, we're still spending tax money on private at that point.
Right.
If I even go in there and dig them out, I mean, we're still spending because you're paying somebody, a city official, to go in there and do the work. So there's really no way I can physically get out of that without breaking the law. Does that make sense?
And also, you gotta consider what a precedence that would make. Ooh.
Mr. Parker can't talk now, can he?
Anything else?
Yes, I'd like to speak to you just a second. I'm looking at some case history from back in 1989. And it was a deed of dedication from the Lewisburg Housing Authority deeding the streets to the city. It may be a possibility to get this developer to have a deed of dedication and do it legally and deed the street, Brindley Court, to the city, and that solves your problem.
Thank you, Mr. Perko.
You're very welcome.
Okay, reports.
number 7, city manager's report.
A lot of the city manager's time has been spent on investigating and trying to come up with solutions. And one of them was a legal letter to the developers. If they had on paper anything that would prove any of the stuff that they have told us, that we would gladly say everything was fine and we'd work on it. And we gave them 30 days to bring something in, and nothing came in. All of us continue to research everything we can find in the city records, trying to make that road possible for us to do something to. And as we said, it's still a private road, and as long as it's a private road, I can't tell anybody to go spend city money on a private road. I've worked with the state, this recently, and we're gonna relocate the Welcome to Lewisburg sign on the Highway 373 up into the park area that we have out there on that area. And I've been working with Brandon and the state so that we have a location, and we're gonna get it up there.
Mooresville Highway.
Mooresville Highway, it'll be a much prettier display of it, and I think it'll be a brighter looking place for it. It'll be more seen coming into Lewisburg, the
What's
location.
it gonna cost?
Just Public Works moving it.
I know, but what's the cost of, it's
I-
already there in a good location. What's it gonna cost to pull all that up and put it back?
I don't have a detailed figure.
Would you find that from Brandon,
Yes,
please?
yes, I will. Our landlord registrations, we've had 146 have filed and turned them in. We had a lot more letters that had to go out on December 15th, and we moved the penalty deadline to March 31st because that was such a short time. So far, nobody's got a penalty. We'll have a spreadsheet and know who in the group that got their letters early enough to have paid in December, but we will probably leave the deadline March 31st. But they have been turning it in really well. On our Main Street grant, which may come up from Debbie or some of the others, Miss Montgomery and I went around the entire square while we didn't have anybody in ECD or over Main Street. When Clint came in, he's gone around and talked to everybody, and we have a new round of downtown improvement grants that are available. And we've had a lot of interest. I think the face-to-face, talking to them in person, has made them realize that we're really concerned. It's a facade grant, and they pay a quarter for $1. They have to come up with all the money, but they pay a quarter for the dollar, and 25% of it's all they have to pay to do improvements. And a lot of interest in that, so I think you'll be seeing some really good upgrades there on people's fronts of their buildings. And then we are in the stage, we have 2 more interviews to do for codes and planning director. We did end up with 6 applicants for that, and we've been in the process of interviewing them, and there is a team doing the interviewing. And announced that Mr. Richard Finley retired from codes on Monday. He decided that he needed to go home and retire, so that's a retirement that's been put in place. And that's my report.
Give us a report on the brick.
Oh, yes. The state engineer came down today, and he said that the building was structurally sound. The first several rows of the facade of brick on the front of the building will need to come off before the business can reopen because it could fall. And the owner was here. He was very happy to comply with anything that we said. He was tickled that the building was structurally sound and has agreed to do whatever is needed to get it back and get the business opened back up. He's anxious to get it opened.
Who was the structural engineer actually working for, the city or the owner?
The owner had to hire him, but he had to be a state certified
Yeah, the owner.
engineer. But the owner had to hire him and bring him down.
I got it.
You think all the buildings need to be checked out?
We have another building that we've noticed, and that it looks like brick was
I
gonna
think
come
all of
loose.
them need to be checked out, because they just seem like they just going down the lane.
Yeah, well, most of them were built around 1900 to 1905 or 1910.
Yeah, that general area, they're all over 100 years old. Most of them, well, People's and Union Bank
Yeah.
location.
But fortunately, this owner, and I don't know how about the next one behind it'll be, but this owner is very excited to try to restore it to its current look. He's big into historical and excited that he can hopefully fix it
How
back.
long will that
So
take, you think?
we couldn't do a deadline till the brick person gets up there and says how much brick actually has to be removed. So that's still in the process of a date. But thank you for asking that. That was a good question.
We'll probably have to have an emergency historical
Yeah.
committee meeting.
We'll have to approve whatever he decides to do through the historical zoning board. Anyway.
But he's anxious apparently to,
Yes, he was very anxious to restore it to its historic look, which is unusual for us to get.
further questions for our city manager?
Anything else? I do want to say this. I don't know how many more times I would be sitting here in this seat, but this board in the city is very lucky to have the people that you have working for it. They are wonderful at their job. They work really hard at it, and it has been a great help to me that I know I can rely on them anytime I call on them for the job that needs to be done, and they do an excellent job for the city of Lewisburg. The employees that I work with at City Hall and in all of the other directorships, I'm really impressed with what they do. So thank you.
Yeah, that was pointed out with the service awards, how long they have stayed with us. That's great. Any other questions? Chief Hawkins?
I don't have anything tonight.
tonight, Mayor, unless there's any questions for me.
His report's in there. Chief Scott?
Come on, Scott.
Everybody's ready to get out of here.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So I'm gonna go through this pretty quick. I know everybody's probably ready. Give you a little bit of the numbers for last year's, the month of December and last year. The department had 1,002 service calls for December. We rounded out the year with 13,629 for the police department. That is not total assets, that's incidents, I guess you could say, when you, I won't give you the other number, but it's, the other number would involve each and every officer that's involved. The Detectives Division took in 16 new cases in December with a total of 301 for the year. In Lewisburg, there were 282 crashes, traffic accidents for the year. There were no fatalities, which is great. There was a vehicle versus pedestrian that the state took over that resulted in a fatality, but that was different circumstances behind that incident. Staffing-wise, we are at 30 officers in the department, probably the strongest we've been in probably 7 or 8 years currently, where we're at, with one officer that is at the academy right now in training. As of today, the other 29 are on the street. Officer Herrera graduated December the 19th from the academy. He graduated with the, I just wanted to recognize him a little bit. He graduated with the academic award out of the entire class and received a $5,000 scholarship to Bethel University. So that was pretty exciting, and I know he's pretty excited about that as well. So one other thing I'll touch on, and I'll get out of here. During December, I've talked several times about the LPRs that the city's used over the last few years to work a lot of the cases we've had, from stolen vehicles to homicides, robberies, and everything else. We had a robbery, you may have seen or heard about it. The firework tent was robbed in the Walmart parking lot December 30th. I'm not going to go through the full report, but one of the officers that was involved in it's actually here tonight, Corporal Turner, did quite a bit of work in that, along with several other officers and other agencies that helped out. But the LPRs were extremely instrumental in locating this individual, who was taken into custody fairly quickly in Illinois. Without it, I don't know that we would have been able to make that connection as quick. He has not been brought back. He's still waiting extradition, but he is jailed in Illinois. There were 2 other co-defendants in that particular case. There are charges on them, but they haven't been picked up yet. So again, you know, the LPRs have without a doubt paid for themselves multiple times in a very short amount of time that we've had them.
As a result of a grant, if I recall.
That was a result of the Tennessee Violent Crime Intervention grant that was put out a few years ago. But other than that, I was going to make it short. That's all I've got.
Well, no, I want you to, if you would, I understand one of your officers was instrumental in saving the life of a man that overdosed out at Walmart, and it involved a bunch of, was it Narcan or something?
It did involve. He was a part of a group that was at Walmart when they done it, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, but were you there, Dustin? You were there on that call as well, were you not?
Yes, sir, I was.
How many vials of Narcan were administered? Do you remember in total? I know we administered. He actually was one of the officers that responded on that call. There were multiple.
The best of my knowledge, 5 to 6 on one individual and 4 to 5 on the second one.
Wow.
Very fortunate to be alive. And again, I've said it before, there was a time when Narcan was not, part of the police officer's duty belt. It is now. So it's carried everywhere.
I understand the one officer resuscitated one of the,
We did have an officer doing CPR until the paramedics.
right, your police officer.
Yes, sir.
Well,
That's correct.
We're grateful for that and grateful for the other report too.
Well, again, it's the guys at the department and the other, I'm gonna recognize the FTOs real quick as well. Because we've talked about it before, the amount of time and training that goes into these guys when they start the department. Officer Herrera is roughly, almost a year, we're a couple months short of a year when I talk about when one comes in until they're road ready. He was just cut loose, got out of the academy, finished the FTO program, and was put on the street. And again, that goes to say that these FTOs within the department for the last year have been with somebody living with them in that car, one way or the other, nonstop. And they're to be credited for the work that these guys are getting and the results that are turning out through the academy.
I know vandalism is a real problem, an increasing problem apparently. And I think the only solution to that is to get more cameras so we can identify those who are vandalizing. And I'm talking about out at the recreation center. I'm talking about at Rock Creek Park when they've vandalized the Christmas trees.
Yep.
So.
Cameras are a big part in helping solve and work some of these cases.
Going back to what you said earlier about apprehending those, the culprit who robbed the
Yep.
fireworks stand.
Yeah, we were able to actually track him as he moved through Paducah into Illinois, so it's a great tool, great tool.
Further questions?
Yes, it may not be the correct place to ask this, but I was wondering if there was a building committee update?
So I think we have a staff meeting this week, and I don't have one at this time, but I was gonna bring that up in the directors meeting this week to figure out where we need to, or when we need to have a building committee meeting.
Further questions?
Can I elaborate on that? Alan is going to send out a notice in February to set up a building committee
Okay.
meeting. So,
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief, and thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please
Thank you.
thank all your officers.
I will, thank
Tell them
you.
how much we appreciate it. Alan, would you like to make your report?
Really, the one thing I was gonna mention was we were gonna plan a capital committee meeting. We're sending that out, it's being sent soon for a meeting in February.
Other than that, I really don't have any additional updates for everybody. I think you all know what we've been doing with the searching for the check, the magical $26,000. One quick update on the status of the audit. I have an email request from our auditor yesterday where she's asking for end-of-year commitments, contingencies, and some things subsequent to the year end. So it looks like she's getting ready to wrap things up, pending me getting this information to her. Status of the water department, I know she was contacting the auditor for the water department, so tomorrow I'll get more information and pass that along to you all. So if you have any questions, other than that, no additional information.
What kind of response did you get from the water department?
I don't know yet. I'll follow up with her tomorrow. In her email where she requested information, she said she was going to follow up with their auditor. So I'll be able to get that, hopefully, information tomorrow from her. So I'll pass that along to everybody. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
How many years did Kent have? Was he 20?
10.
10?
Kent?
10-year employee Kent.
I got nothing for you tonight, sir, unless you got some questions for me.
Well, we really appreciate that 10 years of service. We really do. Clint?
It's in the
All right, good evening. I don't have much. Main Street reporting is almost complete. We have confirmation from the state that our Main Street program in 2026 is approved. So we're going to be working through them throughout the year to improve that. Lewisburg is qualified and we've responded to a total of 1 RFIs this month. 2026 industrial directory updates are underway. And my daily route is making connections with all the industries and just seeing if they have any issues and just making those initial connections.
But Dennis, did you mention the wage and salary survey?
Yeah, that's a part of the industry directory, and we,
Could you just let them know
Yeah.
about what's happening, who's doing it and all that?
Sure. So MTIDA is going to do a 2026 wage salary survey that is connected to our industrial directory, which is out of date. So I have 2 weeks to try to get them a full, or best I can, to try to get them a full update on contacts and phone numbers in primary and secondary. And then our survey, I got the email today, should go out somewhere around mid-February, in which I'll make another connection to see, hopefully we can get as many businesses as we can to complete the survey, about a 2-hour survey, to have the data provided them, how well they're competing, what the salary range is, or maybe what the neighboring counties are doing for their similar employees. So that's going to be a pretty good undertaking, but we're going to try to do our best. Any questions?
Questions for Clint?
Thank you.
Clint has hit the ground running. Thank you, Clint. Carrie?
Mayor, I'm good, I don't have anything tonight. 38,000 above, this time last year in revenue. And so, you guys have your newsletter, so yeah, we're starting basketball season. Kicking that off this weekend.
Questions?
Thank you.
Who am I leaving out? Brandon. Sorry, Brandon. Are you the last?
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Okay. Have I left out anybody else?
Hey, Mayor, I don't know if you'll allow me, Mr. Ports had one statement he'd like to make. That's up to you if you want to allow it or not.
Go ahead. But it is,
It's
again,
not-
the
it's
rules
not-
are
Yeah.
that it can't
It's
be.
not argumentative or nothing like that. I spoke with Cameron, and we in agreement that Mr. Crutcher asked, was there anything else that we can do? And here's, sometimes I don't speak well, so I'm not trying to have it as, don't misunderstand me. If y'all don't take the road, then it's gotta go somewhere, which I'm understanding it's gonna get involved in a court system, if we don't come up with an agreement. So anticipating that, I've already spoke with my attorney and got my options. One of the options is a $15,000 retainer fee. We're willing to donate that $15,000 retaining fee to help the city pave that road. But anything other than that, that's my only offer. And anything from there will have to go through attorneys, but that's my offer.
Thank you. Anybody?
Mayor, I just want to add to that, and I'm going to be quick as we put it back on there. But Shannon, to your deal, he was talking about paving. I did talk to Brandon today, and as far as the city crew coming in there and, tearing up the road or putting gravel, where the city crew is there or another location, it's gonna be the same cost, but, adding, you may want to get Brandon to give you an estimate of the gravel compaction, get the road right for paving, see what that's gonna cost, and then see what pavement's gonna cost.
I think Brandon said he had to take the road up.
It has to be totally
Yeah,
redone.
right,
It's-
so,
it's
that's another,
beyond-
I'm just adding this, that's all I got there.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question for Kent. Kent, I'm sorry, I couldn't find my piece of paper when you were standing up here. Can I have an update on the apron and taxiway?
Yes, we were notified back in October, November that state had received bill grant from FSDO, or ADO, I'm sorry, not FSDO, ADO out of Memphis. I was told yesterday that, yes, they've received it, but the state has not approved it yet. This is apron project only. So once they get that done, once they approve it, then they'll get with the bidder that we had and schedule to proceed with that. The taxiway, Similar situation, only it should be going out to bid within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
So you're waiting on the state to approve that as well?
Well, it's approved, but it hadn't gone across everybody's desk and been stamped, so.
Yeah, I signed some papers on that today. Anybody else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We have other business.
Well,
See.
other business? Well,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Okay.
If we have any other business.
To adjourn, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilman Roberts, second by Councilman Thomas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. We stand adjourned. Thank you all.